Hi guys, today I'm going to narrate to you a story that I have written, but it's not just a story that I have made up. It's my experience that I could pen down. And I do believe that many of you would be able to relate to my experience. So happy listening. Time marches on, memories remain. My family and I recently shifted to a new apartment, and ever since we settled down, I have been planning to pen down my feelings of moving out of our ancestral house forever. We used to stay at a house in North Kolkata, where I have spent an uninterrupted span of 25 years. The two-storied building boasted of the kind of architecture that is typical to most houses in North Kolkata. A couple of courtyards, one interior and one exterior, staircases with high stairs and ornate railings, and lead terraces dotted with plants. Then there was a separate paved area with a water tap and enormous reservoirs in the bathrooms of the ground floor to store water for domestic use. Innumerable rooms and bathrooms filled up the grand old structure, while door-long windows with louvers adorned with stained glass filtered in the sunlight in a varied number of colors. The typically long corridors overlooking the two courtyards on either side added the sense of grandeur that I terribly miss now. Children born and brought up in apartment buildings today probably cannot imagine what it feels to have separate dining and drawing rooms, a separate room for the clothesline, one for washing dishes, and another exclusively for prayer and worship. Additionally, we had one whole room for our cows and another for coal. Yes, we lived in a house having around 18 rooms and 7 washrooms. Our house was furnished with old furniture, some of which dated back to several decades. Unlike other well-planned royal ancestral houses, our house, despite having housed my semi-royal or zamindari ancestors of Amta in Howrah district, was not all that well planned, in the sense that my grandfather constructed rooms, washrooms and kitchens as and when he could accumulate the funds. But as a result, the rooms were not built on one level. This in turn meant that we had to climb up and down the stairs several times every day. The damp, the cracks, the dust, and all other adversities involved continual expenditures. So, in effect, the maintenance of the house became burdensome for a family that relied solely on one income. Yet, the 150-year-old house, full of imperfections, enough to make one annoyed and curse it every now and then, was the imperfect beauty that we called art. Houses such as this shelter and embrace joint families, host weddings and other occasions, provide sufficient place for playing and planting big mango trees and guava trees. But when they're abandoned by most of its inmates, perhaps because the red cement corridors no longer seem attractive, or because of severed family bonds, they start withering away. I believe houses are conscious, for they respond and react to the inhabitants' thinking and planning. When we were about to start shifting, I noticed how a set of pegs fitted to the bathroom wall fell off and light bulbs stopped working. Everything started falling apart. The house knew that we were planning to abandon it. You may say that it was because we did not bother to fix them at the right time. But I think differently. I have witnessed how the house slowly started disowning us before we disowned it physically and legally. Now that we have spent close to a year at our new apartment, which is stunning enough to keep us spellbound till date, I miss a few things that today's kids will not be able to relate to. Kids growing up in apartments cannot understand how it feels to write the address of your residence that is not shared by several other families. They cannot understand the sense of security one feels when they shut and lock the main door of the house. I remember how the expansive entrance had very broad wooden doors that had a couple of antique bolts that we somehow could not trust. So we had an elaborate safekeeping system where we used an old lock which had a critical securing technique. Children now do not know what it feels when the terrace is all yours and not common to other families, where you can burn crackers on Diwali and play with colors on Holi or simply enjoy the breeze while humming the tune of your favorite song. My heart is filled with many such happy memories of lazy Sunday evenings and idle wintry afternoons in the warm glow of the sun. I miss those grand walls and pillars and everything that was housed within and more. I miss those small sweet guavas with pink centers and those sweet luscious mangoes that were planted in the exterior courtyard. We are drifting towards a society where most people will never get to experience staying at their own house and calling an entire building their own, watering the plants and handling the responsibilities required for the upkeep of a house. People nowadays will not identify with the host of emotions that are associated with the familial history sprinkled in every nook and cranny of their house. Our house still stands tall, but it has lost its life. It is the inmates, the roaring laughter in family gatherings, and the care and love among the members of the family that essentially breathe life and warmth into a house you call home. Undoubtedly, our stay in our new apartment is much more comfortable. We now seem to have an updated lifestyle with more opportunities to socialize with others. But I still somehow feel that we are losing bits and pieces of our ancestral culture. It gives me extreme pain when I think how one day soon these beautiful houses once built on so many dreams and hopes will vanish with all its secrets and memories, and we will have to turn the pages of our memory to see them one more time. Thank you.